I was born and grew up in Saigon. For an expat like me, the persistency of waking up every morning feeling like missing Saigon was no longer a surprise. I miss the smell of the grilled steak vendors nearby and the aromatic coffee which people leisurely sipped every morning while looking at the busy streets. Living in Saigon, I had experienced the fast-paced lifestyle and eventually fell in love with it. I was never a girl who sit in front of the computer whole day, but always on the street, eating junk foods and spend long hours talking with friends. At that moment, I thought I had everything: family, friends, and enjoyable moments. Saigon was a big part of me and it never faded away. It was peaceful and fun. Until at the end of my fifth grade, I was told that my family is going to America. That was the most exciting thing for a little girl like me to hear at all times. I could already imagine the fancy America with tall buildings and crowded streets, a combination of NYC and Hollywood that magically glamorous. But then, America is not what I expected. Living in the heart of Saigon, it feels like a lot like Vietnam, but never the same. I went to school and it was a tragic experience. I didn't know English back then except for a couple communication words like hello, how are you, thank you, and it was all written in a small handbook that I carried with me every day. Friends were there, but they were not as my friends in Vietnam. Language barrier made me an outcast. Completely lost in the school with so many kids my age, couldn't adapt with the atmosphere. I just wanted to go back to Vietnam so bad, where I felt like I really belonged. But things got a little better when I attended high school and PM started to happen in my life. As being an outcast had turned me into such a rebellious little girl, I didn't like the idea of going to study hall at first. As I still didn't speak English very well, I hated school and I didn't really care about my grades. I especially hated it when my mom forced me to go to study hall every week. In my mind, this is just a place for smart kids who only focus on grades in school. I thought this was not a place for me, so I didn't really care. But now I think it might be another reason. It was because I was afraid of being an outcast again. My first mentor was Tiffany. I was really shy when we first talked, but I really appreciated her for trying to speak Vietnamese with me. Even though there were a lot of miscommunication, I still know in my heart that she is very nice and cool. Later, she was an inspiration, the one who knew all my weaknesses and strengths. She was the first person I talked to whenever I have a problem, regardless to education, family, or life. She was the first best friend I had at Project Motivate. Somehow, I feel closer and started to become more open up to conversations and share more stories. Tiffany was there when I was at my worst, when my grades were going down the drain, when I first experienced drama in high school, when I was the wildest, and when I was at my toughest time. If it wasn't because of Tiffany, I don't really know if PM and I would be so bonded like today. Camp 2015 was my best memory. In fact, it was a camp I've ever attended. I've got so much closer with Cassandra. We took a lot of pictures, wrote cheesy letters to each other, and it was really fun. We had a lot of up and down moments, but I still miss camp a lot, and I've been longing for another amazing 2017 PM camp. My favorite chidai at PM is getting married in August, so congratulations, Jackie. I always thought you would be single forever until I saw your phone's wallpaper with your special someone. It's kind of sad to realize you're only gonna be here for just a couple more months, but I'm glad to see that you are happy and excited for the next upcoming event. I am excited too, and thank you for everything you did for me. Thank you for having to wake up early and staying up late to edit my essay and spend time with me. I hope to see you sometimes in summer. One person I would miss the most this year would be my mentor, Jenny. I saw you not only as a mentor, but also as a sister. We match perfectly from clothing style to the way we talk. It's been such a long time since I can find someone that is so relate and trustworthy. You were my favorite at PM this year, and you still is. I miss all the good times we had, and especially all the money we spent on foods. After PM, I hope we will still be the same forever. Although PM this year was a rough start, but I feel like you guys have been the best group I've met. You guys are more than just friends, we are like family. If it's not because of DM, I would be somewhere else at the bottom. I wouldn't understand the importance of living with desire. My future would have no goal and ambitions. You guys are such great impact that helped me to define who I am today. I remember when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I was asked a lot of questions about how I want to live my life, what I want to be, and when I grew up. I was too young to really understand how life and school would be. It was just a simple click. I answered, I want to be a doctor. As growing up, it became more clearly to me that my answer was the exact thing my parents wanted to hear about my life, my future. On the other hand, I was never a good student at school. In fact, the only reason I attended school was just because I had to. When I turned 6 or 7, my elementary teacher signed me up to a singing and dancing show at school. Instead of being shy, I was totally confident in front of the whole audience at the show. Since I got a lot of compliments after the show, I had decided that later on I would be a singer. When I told my parents about that, they just shut it off completely. They told me to become more realistic. As I grew older, I thought what they said was true. Everybody can sing, but not everyone could be a singer. Time flies now. As I am standing here as a senior, even though I graduated, this is tough as I stuck in a net of decisions for my future. My parents had always wanted me to major something that is business related, such as management or economy. As I think about it, I really have no interest in math, science, or English. I decided to major in studio art at Orange Coast College. This is far different from what I was expected back then. In the past, I thought I had to draw every detail plan before starting something. But actually, life is not what you always naively imagine. The more you try without being afraid of failing, the more experience you achieve. So go ahead, work hard, and be enthusiastic. Then you know for yourself what your next step is. As long as you keep pursuing your dream, your passion. Take my advice, do what makes you happy, not what gets you acceptance. Yeah.